As you can tell, it's a loud and decisively young crowd here at Coolray Field today. It is Education Day, the first of 3 we'll have this season, as the Stripers are back home to kick off a 6-game series against the Memphis Redbirds. And on the hill for the Stripers today, Pontoon Brewing starting pitcher, right-hander Michael Soroka. The pontoon lifestyle is the idea of escaping all the daily stresses and relaxing on a pontoon boat with a cold one in hand. Shades on, bottoms up. That's Pontoon Brewing Company. And maybe Soroka and teammates from the Stripers will do just that after this morning game today. Soroka making his second start of the young season. No record in a 2.45 ERA, 2.86 opponent average through 3 2/3 innings back on April 4th at Norfolk. And no decision, 1 run on 4 hits. The lone run coming on a Ryan O'Hearn solo shot. Soroka did not walk a batter, struck out 3, leading the Stripers to a 6-1 victory. That's the last time Gwinnett has won, however. They come in the midst of a 4-game losing streak that they'd like to snap today. The 9 that Soroka will face for the Redbirds, it's Kramer Robertson, Mason Wynn, Paul DeYoung in the 1-2-3, Ivan Herrera, Moises Gomez, Lucan Baker in the 4-5-6, Oscar Mercado, Chase Pinder, and Errol Robinson in the 7-8 and 9 spots. Want to welcome everybody watching on the Bally Live app, the new live video broadcast home of minor league baseball. If you aren't watching on Bally Live, download the free app today. The Stripers in their typical daytime attire. It's the retro faux-back white home jerseys with the white front cap featuring the Wormhook alternate logo. Navy sleeves with the fish logo, letters and numbers in navy trimmed in the bass green. And meanwhile, the Redbirds have their navy jerseys on, letters and numbers mimicking the neon that you see all across downtown Memphis. Red and yellow neon looking numbers. And here's a familiar face to lead it off, Kramer Robertson. Briefly a member of the Stripers last year, played for 3 different organizations, started off the year with the Cardinals, ended the year with the Cardinals, and of course he's back in the St. Louis system again this year. Robertson ready to dig in from the right side. Stripers are ready on the defensive end. Elmer Sanchez will play in tight at third base. And we are ready for baseball this morning. First pitch on the way from Soroka. Inside quarter called strike. We are underway at 11:05 a.m. right on time at Coolray Field. 0-1 the count on Robertson. He's DHing today, hitting .206 with a home run, 5 RBIs. Soroka kicks and fires, and down and in. Cloud of chalk dust kicks up on that. The count 1-1 to Robertson. 28 years old from Plano, Texas. Cardinals' 4th-round pick in 2017 out of LSU. Into the motion goes Soroka. 1-1 is fouled back to the backstop screen. 1-2 the count for Robertson. Played for Memphis, Gwinnett, and Syracuse last year. The bulk of his time spent in a Memphis uniform, 81 games, but also 13 games with the Stripers and 22 at the Syracuse Mets. He'll take down and away, and the count evens at 2 balls, 2 strikes. At 300 for the Stripers, had a home run, 6 RBIs, went 4 for 7 in stolen base attempts. Here's the 2-2, and that almost fell back in for a strike. Missing just a tad high from Soroka. The count is now full to Robertson. Payoff pitch is fouled off to the right. Michael Soroka continuing his path back, hopefully to the big leagues. Hopefully this is the year he gets back into an Atlanta Braves uniform. It's been a long time coming, working his way back from not 1 but 2 Achilles surgeries. 3-2 is inside ball 4. And Robertson takes the jog down to first with a leadoff walk. Soroka finally got back on the mound last year. And that rehab assignment with Gwinnett turned into a regular stint with Gwinnett by the end of it. Went 0-2 with a 5.40 ERA over the course of 6 starts last year. 1 with High A Rome and the rest with the Stripers. Here is Mason Wynn, another right-handed bat. And that'll be a theme all series long. There's only 1 left-handed hitter and 1 switch hitter on this whole roster right now for Memphis. They are right-handed dominant. 1 ball, no strikes, the count to Wynn. Operating out of the stretch now is Soroka. A slide and fire And just a tad high again. 2 balls, no strikes to Wynn. Mason Wynn, all of 21 years of age, from Katy, Texas. Cardinals' second-round pick out of Kingwood High School back in 2020. AAA debut season. He's the Cardinals' number 2 prospect, and he'll lean out of the way of an inside fastball to count 3-0. It's number 45 on the top 100 according to MLB.com. And off to a sluggish start. 147 average, no homers, 1 RBI. Though he does have 3 stolen bases. 3-0 pitch from Soroka, guided in there for a strike to count 3-1. That'll be tough for a starting pitcher. He's used to, at the latest, starting at 1:05 on a Sunday, but otherwise under the lights, to get it fired up for 11:05 a.m. And Soroka will turn and toss over to first base, checking back Robertson. Hitters count of 3-1 for Wynn. Double play depth up the middle for Grissom and Shoemake. Shoemake closest to the bag at second. They had Soroka's 3-1. Swinging a flare to shallow center field, coming in. Unable to close the gap is Sierra. That drops in for a hit. Down to third goes Robertson. First and third with nobody out here in the top of the first inning. And as we get a look at Paul DeYoung on rehab, let's get you the defense behind Michael Soroka for the Stripers. Yolmer Sanchez at third, Vaughn Grissom the shortstop, Braden Shoemake at second. Joshua Fuentes is at first. Outfield is Forrest Wall in left, Magneri Sierra in center, Justin Dean in right, and Joe Hudson doing the catching for Michael Soroka, who's in a jam here early on. A walk and a jam shot single have set it up for Paul DeYoung. First pitch is fouled back to the mitt for strike 1. DeYoung's been on the injured list for the Cardinals since March 27th. He was limited to just 6 games during the spring. He's been dealing with a back issue. Last year he spent the bulk of his season on this AAA roster just because he had struggled so mightily offensively in St. Louis. He's a former All-Star. Facing a former All-Star, Michael Soroka. How about that storyline as Soroka misses away for a 1-ball, 1-strike count? They were both on the same All-Star team in 2019 National League. Soroka's only time on the All-Star team, and also DeYoung's only time as an All-Star so far. Soroka turns loose the 1-1. It's popped up off to the right and over the roof for a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. DeYoung, now 29 years of age, makes his offseason home in Orlando, Florida. He had 157 for the Cardinals in 77 ball games last year, but then homered 17 times for the Redbirds while hitting .249 over 51 games. First and third, nobody out. Soroka will check to first, and back in quickly is Wynn. They do have some stolen base threats on this ball club, and Wynn is certainly near the top of that list. As DeYoung levels the all-black bat across. A 1-ball, 2-strike count. Soroka would love to get a strikeout here. Runner goes, pitch to the plate, high and tight. Thrown out to second by Hudson, not in time. Shoemake came out in front of the bag to field that throw. And Mason Wynn in with stolen base number 4. Tough pitch to throw on there. Up and in on the batter, DeYoung. So it's Robertson now with third. Wynn at second. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count to DeYoung, standing deep in the right-handed batter's box. The pitch from Soroka is in the dirt, smothered by Hudson, and it's a full count. Already 17 pitches thrown in this first inning for Soroka, and nobody yet out. 61 pitches the last time for Michael. 37 were strikes. A big 3-2 pitch is on its way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2019 All-Star gets another. As Soroka fans DeYoung for the first out here in this first inning. Let's take a look at the umpire crew for today's proceedings. It is Charlie Ramos calling the balls and strikes. Jacob Metz at third base. Tanner Dobson at second. Ben Sontag at first. The 4-man crew as assigned by the International League. Here's Ivan Herrera, the cleanup hitter. And another prospect on this ball club. He'll take a breaking ball down and away from Soroka. 1-0 the count. Herrera batting .231 with a home run, 5 RBIs, and a .756 OPS. 22-year-old from Panama is the Cardinals' number 9 ranked prospect. And a holdover from last year's club. 1-0 pitch is inside. And Soroka falls behind 2 balls, no strikes. For Soroka, 2 different fastballs, 4-seam and 2-seam. Both in the mid-90s. He's got a slider and a changeup. Here's the 2-0. And there is the slider for a strike, 2-1. And in that first outing at Norfolk, used that 4-seam fastball about 25% of the time. Saw a lot of the 2-seam, 33%. Slider at 31%. First baseman Fuentes just off the grass. Here's the 2-1. And an off-speed pitch sailing high and tight on Herrera. Hitters count of 3-1. Robertson at third base, Wynn at second with 1 gone here in the top of the first, no score. The pitch from Soroka is bounced foul wide of first base. As Herrera slapped that ball the other way, you figure 3-1, you're looking for a pitch to drive and maybe pull, but he sort of slapped at that one. Saw some space between Fuentes and the first baseline. So the count now full to Herrera. Twirling the bat ready. Slightly choked up. The payoff pitch is tapped right into the ground. Could be a tough play. Soroka coming off the mound will throw to first, and it is in time for the out. Nice play by Soroka. Run does score from third. Kramer Robertson motors on in to make it 1-0 Memphis Redbirds. But in trying to prevent a big first inning, Soroka doing the wise thing and going to first base. Would have been a tough angle to try and go home with that throw, and it wasn't a force play there. Would have taken a tag from Joe Hudson. And Soroka all upper body on that throw to first base. No chance to really plant and throw. So Herrera picks up his 6th RBI of the year. He has gone 1-3. Robertson in. Wynn goes to third, and now 2 gone as they chat on the mound before facing Moises Gomez. It was the Cardinals' number 10 ranked prospect, coming off a monster season a year ago. Played 60 games in Double-A Springfield, 60 more from Memphis, hit .294, and led all of minor league baseball in homers. He had 39. That set a Cardinals minor league single-season record. And no surprise, he was named their co-minor league player of the year alongside super prospect and now big leaguer Jordan Walker. So here is Gomez, always dangerous. Runner at third with 2 outs. Soroka, after the chat on the hill, is ready to go back to it. First pitch to Gomez is foul right back to the screen, 0-1. Gomez, 24 years of age, from Caracas, Venezuela. Originally signed by the Tampa Bay Rays back in 2015. Oh, 1 pitch. Look out. That was headed for the rib cage. And Gomez jumped back out of the way. The count 1 ball, 1 strike. Baseball in the bare hand of Soroka. Now set into the pocket of the mitt. And the 1-1. Swing and a miss. There's the home run cut. Hands flying there from Gomez, but it's a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Stripers backed up all across the infield. Justin Dean a couple of steps in and right. 1-2 on the way is high and away. No chase from Gomez. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the 39 homers, but with that comes the strikeouts as well. Struck out 174 times last year. All or nothing. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Set up on the outer half is Hudson. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Couple of strikeouts in the first for Michael Soroka, but it's a 29-pitch inning. And the RBI ground out for Ivan Herrera stakes the Memphis Redbirds to a 1-0 lead with the Stripers coming up in the bottom of the first. It's Gwinnett Stripers baseball on mycountry993.com. The Memphis Redbirds grab a 1-0 lead on Michael Soroka and the Stripers in the top of the first. Gwinnett coming to the plate for the first time today against the starting pitcher for Memphis. It's right-hander Gordon Graceffo. One of the top prospect arms in the Cardinals organization into his full wind. He'll twist and fire. First pitch to Forrest Wall is in the dirt, ball one. Graceffo ranked the Cardinals number 4 prospect. He's number 73 on the MLB.com top 100 prospects list. Shifted over to the right on the infield are the Redbirds. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Wall. It's outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Just the second AAA start for Graceffo. He was handed a loss in the first one. That was on April 6th versus Nashville. A game the Redbirds lost 4-0. Here's the 2-0. A swing and a foul tip, and the count runs to 2-1 for Wall. So Graceffo 0-1 with a 6.75 ERA, 3.89 opponent average in the one start. Facing off against Forrest Wall, batting 174, no homers, 3 RBIs, a team-high 4 stolen bases. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Check swing, pitch inside. And it's a 3-ball, 1-strike count for Wall. Stripers have had Wall, Justin Dean, and the no longer on the ball club Eli White in the leadoff spot over the first 8 games of the year. 3-1 is lined right to the second baseman Mason Wynn. Goes down to a knee and snares it out of the air. And Wall retired on the hard hit ball. Let's take a look at the Redbirds defense behind Gordon Graceffo. It is Errol Robinson at third base, Paul DeYoung the shortstop, Mason Wynn at second, Lucan Baker at first, outfield of Chase Pinder in left, Oscar Mercado in center, Moises Gomez in right, and Ivan Herrera doing the catching for Gordon Graceffo. Prospect on former prospect here as Vaughn Grissom stands in. First pitch to him, curls in for a strike, 0-1. Grissom would still be a prospect had he not played 41 games in the big leagues last year. Off to a great start and his first taste of AAA, 394 average. It's in 8 straight games, and he pops this one up down the right field line. Going to be a long run for Baker into foul ground. Circling under, reaching out, can't get it. Takes a bounce off the track and into the crowd. We've seen Lucan Baker the last few years now in Memphis, and he's got a good power bat. Not exactly your rangiest of first basemen. Big bulky guy over there at first, and not quite able to get to that one. So the count is 0-2 on Grissom. 39 plate appearances to start his career in AAA, has yet to strike out. Able to put the ball in play with 2 strikes time and time again. Graceffo swings the leg, the 0-2, and he checks on that breaking ball in the dirt. And Grissom retrieves that baseball himself and flips it aside over towards the Stripers' dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Vaughn slightly crouched in that right-handed batter's box. Staring over the top of the glove is Graceffo. Here now the 1-2. And he just does get a piece of it, fouls it off behind home plate. Not a lot of holes in the swing of Grissom, and we've seen an advanced approach for him. He's gone the opposite way a lot of the time this year. Time called by Grissom, and granted, each batter can call time once in an at-bat. Grissom gets his called right there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Graceffo steps back now forward, the 1-2. Just low. And the count 2 balls, 2 strikes to Grissom. He's got the cover on the left instep. It's the only protective gear he wears. Long pause for Graceffo, now the 2-2. And that's low and outside, full count. One out, base is empty for the Stripers, trailing 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. Gordon Graceffo with a payoff pitch. It is on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. There's the first strikeout of the AAA career for Vaughn Grissom, and it came after a good battle. Graceffo the first one to strike him out. It was bound to happen at some point. And now with 2 gone, here is Braden Shoemake. Missed a couple of games on the road trip. He was back in there for the final 2. He's got a team-high 7 RBIs, batting .200. And a fastball strike to start him off 0-1. For Graceffo, he's got a four-seamer that can run 94 to 97. Slider, curveball, changeup. Power slider in the upper 80s, curveball in the mid-70s. Slapped the opposite way by Shoemake, but foul into the screen, and the count is 0-2. Graceffo, all of 23 years of age. He's from Wayne, New Jersey. Cardinals got him in the 5th round in 2021. Out of Villanova, a former Wildcat. Facing off against a Texas A&M product. And Braden Shoemake tapping the bat on the back shoulder as he waits in an 0-2. Graceffo with the 0-2 pitch. Up and in, right across the striper's word mark on that jersey of Shoemake. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2 pitch is popped back over the roof behind us. Good crowd here for Education Day. Again, the first of 3 we'll have this season. We're getting a good day weather-wise for it. Sunny skies overhead, not a cloud to be seen. Temperature in the 60s today. Here's the 1-2. And that's a jam shot pop-up over towards third base and run down by Errol Robinson. Took sort of a circuitous route to that and got there in time. Stripers set down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first. We'll go to the second. Dave Lazat back with you on a sunny Tuesday morning here at Coolray Field. We go to the top of the second. Stripers trailing 1-0 to the Memphis Redbirds. Michael Soroka threw 30 pitches in that first inning. A walk, 1 hit, a couple of strikeouts, and the run came in on an RBI ground out by Ivan Herrera. Soroka able to strand a man at third base. Now he faces off against Lucan Baker, big lumbering right-handed hitter. Took ball 1, next pitch on the way is high and tight, 2 balls, no strikes. 26-year-old Baker from Houston, Texas, 2nd round pick of the Cardinals out of TCU in 2018. Swinging a pop-up back behind the plate. Hudson takes off the mask, looking all around for it, but it is somewhere back on top of the roof. 2-1 for Baker. Big start to the year for Baker. He's 5th in the league in OPS at 1.236, tied for 5th in homers with 3. He's drawn a lot of walks as well. Checks the swing here, takes his called strike, 2-2. Coming off a 21 homer season with the Redbirds a year ago, which he also struck out 129 times. Soroka's 2-2 pitch. Check swing, called strike 3. Locked him up at the kneecaps. Baker gone on strikes. 3rd K of the day for Soroka. Bring up Oscar Mercado. So there are some familiar faces in this lineup for the Redbirds from last year, and Kramer Robertson, Ivan Herrera, Moises Gomez, Lucan Baker. Here's one of the new faces, Oscar Mercado, taking strike 1. He was down at the high A level all of last year. Here's the 0-1. And I stand corrected. Rather, he was in Columbus in the Cleveland organization, so he was at AAA. We just didn't see him. 49 games with the Clippers, hit .281, had 5 homers. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count to Mercado. Soroka rocks and fires. Swinging a ground ball up the middle. Backhanded pick by Shoemake on the shortstop side of the bag, and they throw to first base in time. Dropped by Fuentes, but had it long enough. Say he dropped it on the exchange to the throwing hand, and so nice play there by Shoemake. Most of his career has been spent on that shortstop side of second. Able to move to his right and range that way for a backhanded play and throw to first. So 2 gone for Soroka here in the second. And that will bring up Chase Pinder. Virginia native, 27 years of age. Cardinals 7th round pick in 2017 out of Clemson. Takes a look at strike 1. Pinder batting .214 so far with a home run. And down and away missing is Soroka. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's got a brother who plays in the Reds organization, Chad Pinder. Here's the 1-1. And a front door slider for a strike. The count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Time called for by Pinder, and he's right back in the box and ready to go. 2 outs, bases empty, top of the second. Memphis on top 1-0. The pitch from Soroka. Fought off to the right side, foul. Off the facing of the roof and back down below. And it holds it a ball and 2 strikes. Took 30 pitches to get through the first inning for Soroka. He's only had 12 here in the second. With a chance to end it right here. Shakes off a couple of signs from Hudson, and now the 1-2 in flight. On the inside corner, have a look, take a seat, Chase Pinder. 2 more strikeouts for Soroka. That's 4 on the day. A 1-2-3 second. See if the Stripers can wake up the bats here this morning. They trail 1-0 to Memphis on mycountry993.com. Yolmer Sanchez, Magneri Sierra, and Joshua Fuentes. 4, 5, and 6 coming up for the Stripers here in the home half of the second. With Gwinnett trailing in the early going 1-0 to Memphis. Gordon Graceffo, 1-2-3 first with a strikeout. Van Vaughn Grissom, first at the AAA level to do that. And here is Sanchez batting from the left side. He'll watch one miss, low and outside for ball 1. Sanchez in the cleanup spot, not a prototypical cleanup guy. Stripers don't have a ton of power on the current roster. Sanchez takes low, the count 2 balls, no strikes. In fact, they haven't homered since the opening game of the Norfolk series when Eli White led off the game with a solo shot. Hopefully that changes today. 2-0 pitch is across the outside corner for a strike, 2-1. Sanchez batting .316, no home runs, 3 RBIs, .725 OPS. He's got the most big league time, or rather one of the most seasoned big leaguers on this roster. Here's the 2-1. And right down the middle for a called strike, 2-2. I think Charlie Culberson's got him beat in total games, but it's close. 600 plus for Sanchez in his career. Graceffo will deal the 2-2. And that comes inside and glances off the arm of Sanchez. He'll take the jog to first, hit by the pitch. Looked like that was right off the striper bass fish on his sleeve. He's close to it. Here's Magneri Sierra. Sierra adjusts the batting helmet as he gets set up from the left side. Freshly having turned 27 on the road trip. First pitch cut on and missed. His one-handed cut is late. 0-1 the count. Sierra batting .292, no homers, 2 RBIs, 3 steals, 768 OPS. Word's not flowing easily this morning. Here's the 0-1. And a breaking ball strike. Looked like the curveball that time, as Graceffo gets ahead 0-2. 2 strides off the bag at first for Sanchez. Graceffo out of the stretch for the first time today. He's got an interesting looking windup. A lot of starters in this day and age don't do that full twist anymore, but when he works out of the wind, he takes that first step back and then completely twists around. A lot to look at for a hitter before you wait for that ball to be released. Obviously less motion though out of the stretch. As he slides and fires, Sierra takes outside, the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. The youngsters getting the Let's Go Stripers chant going early here on this Tuesday. No reason to wait. See if he can fire up this ball club. And the 1-2. Just off the inside corner. Close pitch to take there for Sierra. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He was 5 of 16 on the road trip, a .313 average. One of the few that hit over 300 against the Norfolk Tides. .2-2 from Graceffo. Slap to the left side, foul. That'll be a souvenir. Take that for show and tell tomorrow. And the count 2 balls, 2 strikes to Magneri Sierra. Long pause in the 2-2. Down at the feet of Sierra. He'll skip out of the way. And the count full. DeYoung and Wynn are in that double play alignment up in the middle. Errol Robinson giving Sierra a lot of the third baseline. He's about 30 feet off the line. And with Baker holding the runaround, there's also a gap on the right side. As long as he doesn't try to go up the middle, he's got a shot for a hit here. And the toss from Graceffo over to first to check on Sanchez. Chats right quick with first base coach Stevie Wilkerson running the stopwatch. Straightening up is the righty Graceffo. And his 3-2 pitch is ball 4. Missed it low. Herrera came out of the crouch thinking that Sanchez might take off, but Sanchez can walk to second. A hit batter and a walk have started up things for the Stripers here in the second. Nobody out. Joshua Fuentes coming up. We'll do some groundskeeping with the cleats in the right-handed batter's box here. Fuentes batting .192, no homers, 1 RBI, .575 OPS. For the California native. And the first pitch right down the middle for a strike. 0-1 the count. Fuentes, one of the guys they are looking to hit for power in the middle of this order. Wiggling the fingers on the bat. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Or did he get a piece of that? It ricocheted off the catcher's gear of Herrera, came all the way out to the mound. Sanchez started to break for third base. And if that was a clean swing and miss, he could have went to third. It turns out to be a foul tip. The count 0-2. A check down to second for Graceffo. The 0-2 check swing. Did he go? Yes. Upon appeal to first, Ben Sontag rings him up. And Graceffo trying to work his way out of trouble. Starts it with a strikeout. That's been an issue for the Stripers in the early going this season. They've had base runners. They had a boatload of them in that Norfolk Tide series, but time and time again unable to come up with a big clutch hit. So here's Hoy Park. And before Park gets to step in, we've got the home plate umpire Ramos gesturing out to Graceffo. Looked like he pointed at his mouth. Maybe telling Graceffo not to go to his mouth, but now he'll dig him for an auto ball. And Graceffo says, "Who, me?" And now Ben Johnson wants to go talk about it. So this is designed to save time, but we're going to add some time here as they discuss an auto ball to Hoy Park. Johnson wants an explanation. Possible that that clock didn't reset. After Ramos, again, stepped out in front of the plate, gestured over to Graceffo, it appeared. Almost looked like he was pointing at his mouth, maybe telling Graceffo not to go to his mouth before handling the baseball. And so if that clock didn't reset, because in part Ramos didn't ask for a reset, that might be why it ran out on Graceffo. It's going to stand. It's an auto ball. It's ball 1 to Hoy Park. First and second, 1 out. Stripers down 1-0 here in the bottom of the second, trying to get something going. Bat held high in the hands of Park. First pitch drops inside to make it 2-0. First pitch, of course, after the auto ball. Park batting .200, 1 RBI. He, like Magneri Sierra, celebrated his 27th birthday on the road trip on the exact same day as Sierra. The 2-0 is high. The count 3 balls, no strikes. There's a birthday cake in the clubhouse on Sunday for the two of them. I guess Charlie Culberson could take part as well. He celebrated his 34th birthday yesterday. A lot of April birthdays on this club. Here's the 3-0 from Graceffo. And taking all the way is Park. It's a strike, 3-1. Park's approach has been mainly the opposite way. He's flipped more than a few singles into left field. Strike 2 called. And Again, Park looked to be taking, so now he'll be swinging 3-2. See if the runners might get a head start. It's only one out. They look like they're itching to go. Graceffo several looks to second. Here's the 3-2. And it's ball 4. That didn't miss by much. And you can read the body language of Graceffo. He thought he had strike 3 there on Hoy Park, but instead the Stripers will load him up. Without the benefit of a base hit, a hit batter and 2 walks. And now we'll see if Joe Hudson can do some damage. But first, a visit from the pitching coach for the Redbirds. This is Darwin Marrero in his first season. Well, a reminder while we have this mound conversation, and you can chat with us throughout the game on our Bally Live chat. Join the conversation. All Stripers home games on Bally Live. A little later on, we'll be introducing our trivia question of the day that you can participate in. Anytime you're watching on Bally, you have the chance to score yourself some Bally bucks. I know Jack Johnson's racking those up right now, to my left. He's got to have hundreds of dollars in Bally bucks. So here is Joe Hudson. He's now the primary catcher on this ball club. You'll remember Chadwick Trump went up to the big leagues to serve as the backup for Sean Murphy after Travis d'Arnaud hit the injured list with a concussion a few days back. So Hudson now the newly minted catcher number 1, 31-year-old from Tampa, Florida. Bases full, 1 out. Stripers down a run, 1-0. The pitch from Graceffo is low, ball 1. Still early in the season to really get a good read on these numbers, but the Stripers batting with the bases loaded this year, hitting .250. No grand slams. .472 OPS. One and 0 the count. Hudson with time called as 1 foot out of the batter's box as he chats with Charlie Ramos. Graceffo gets settled down the hill. His 1-0 pitch. And a half-hearted swing there by Hudson. Didn't come all the way around on the cut. Swung over the top of the breaking ball in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hudson batting .200, looking for his first RBI of the year. We're in a good catcher's number of 7. Graceffo's 1-1. There's a curveball high. And a count of 2 balls, 1 strike. Graceffo used his fastball against Nashville almost 60% of the time. Very fastball reliant. Slider was his top secondary pitch at 21%. And we've got an auto ball 2. 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike on Hudson. Bases full of Stripers here in the second. The pitch. Fouled back to the screen. Hit so hard off the screen it rolls back out to Graceffo in front of the mound. He'll toss it aside to receive a new baseball. Last grand slam in Stripers history. You don't have to go back that far. It was last season. It was Ryan Castile in the last homestand of the year against Memphis. September 23rd of last year. Here's the 2-2 to Hudson. Checks the swing, but he went around on it for a strikeout. So Graceffo, a big strikeout there. His second of the inning, third the ball game, and now it's Justin Dean, hopefully to the rescue. Dean hit his first AAA homer in the opening homestand against Jacksonville. It was in Gwinnett's last home game, the Sunday finale of that 3-game set. Checks the swing, pitch in the dirt, ball 1. Dean hitting .174 with a home run, 6 RBIs, .604 OPS. Had a fantastic spring. Confidence high for him coming out of Northport. And he's seen regular playing time this year. 1-0 on the quarter for a strike, 1-1. Dean hit .375 for the Braves this spring. And got a long look, 14 ball games for a guy who spent most of last year in Double-A. 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And in Dean's case, a guy who got a spring training invite thanks to what he did in winter ball, most likely. At .343 in the Mexican Pacific League last year and won a championship with Los Mochis. But he's behind here, 1-2. The pitch outside, no chase. The count 2-2. Stripers have the bases loaded without benefit of a hit. Hit batter, 2 walks, but also 2 strikeouts in the inning. And the count even at 2-2 to Justin Dean. Straightening up is the right-hander Graceffo. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. And Graceffo strikes his way out of trouble. Worked himself into and out of that jam, and so we go to the top of the 3rd. Stripers still trailing Memphis 1-0 here on mycountry993.com. Dave Lizotte back with you at Coolray Field in Lawrenceville. We are on to the top of the 3rd here on Education Day. Stripers just loaded the bases but could not drive a run in, as Gordon Graceffo struck out the side. Here's the first pitch to Errol Robinson. It's fouled down the 3rd baseline for strike 1. Michael Soroka. And a leadoff walk and a single greet him in the first, allowed a run, but struck out 2, and then worked a 1-2-3 second with a pair of backwards Ks. And now facing the 9-hitter Robinson for the first time. The count 1 ball, 1 strike. Errol Robinson, 28 years of age, from Boyd's, Maryland. First season with Memphis. Low and away from Soroka. The count 2-1. Former member of the Dodgers system. He was the Dodgers 6th-round pick in 2016 out of Ole Miss. Signed with the Cardinals in July of last year. And Soroka missing again. 3 balls, 1 strike. Saw him play for Louisville against the Stripers back in 2021. Soroka's 3-1. Swing and a miss, tied him up. And the count full for Robinson. Kramer Robertson waiting on deck. The 3-2. Fouled off to the right. And holds at 3 balls, 2 strikes. Was looking at this number between innings, but it's been tough sledding for starting pitchers for the Stripers as far as run support is concerned. They've gotten a 1.38 runs per game average over the first 8 games of the year. That's 11 total runs in 8 games. Here's the 3-2. And that's badly missing from Soroka. And a leadoff walk for Errol Robinson. Second walk issued by Soroka today. Breaks up a string of 6 straight batters retired. And we'll go to the top for Kramer Robertson. He led off the game with a walk and scored that lone run to this point. Yolmer Sanchez will guard against a bunt here. Just inside the dirt circle at 3rd. First pitch to Robertson popped up, 3rd base side. And that's going to find the roof. That's going to be a tough one all series long if Errol Robinson and Kramer Robertson bat back-to-back throughout the week. Robertson with the curly brown hair flowing out the back of the red-colored Memphis Redbirds helmet. 0-1 from Soroka, rides over the helmet high. And it is 1-1. Away from first base goes Robinson, 1 steal on the year. Pretty big lead there now. He'll take off on the pitch. It's a check swing liner, right side foul. And Robinson has to go back to first. This is the 14th career start for Michael Soroka in a Gwinnett Stripers uniform, going all the way back to his AAA debut in 2018. He's not been on this roster for a long stretch in any of his stints. Again, last year was mostly rehab. 2018, he was briefly on the club before getting the call to the majors just about a month in. Robinson, another big lead. He'll be chased back to first. Close play, and they got him. How about that? Michael Soroka, out of the corner of his eye, saw that big lead for Robinson. Threw over to first base. The tag from Fuentes applied, and a pickoff for the first time this year by a Stripers pitcher. So that takes away that leadoff walk for Soroka. 1-3 on the pickoff goes Robinson. And now the 1-2 to Robertson. Check swing. Did he go upon appeal? No, and the count is 2-2. Soroka career for the Stripers, 3-3, a 3.84 ERA, 103 WHIP, 220 opponent average. This is the 8th time he started here at Coolray Field, 1-2 with a 3.90 ERA at home. Line drive to left and a base hit for Robertson. And that pickoff could loom large in this inning. There might be runners at the corners right now, or at least first and second without it, as Robertson has the second hit off Soroka today. Here's Mason Wynn. Soroka, the first ever starting pitcher in the Stripers era of Gwinnett baseball. It was a win in 2018 at Norfolk. Here's first pitch to Wynn is popped up right center field. Coming on is Sierra with a handout to wave off Dean. He'll reach up to make the catch. 2 gone. Ball sounded good coming off the bat of Wynn, but got underneath it. And that'll bring up Paul DeYoung. 2 outs and the runner at first, Robertson. In the 13 career starts for Soroka, he's faced Memphis one other time. That came last year. Very early on in his rehab, he worked 3 1/3 innings, gave up 2 runs on 6 hits. As this ball is lifted deep to left field on the run, Wall, and he will go into a slide, makes the catch. Looked for a moment like he might not get to it, but into a slide goes Wall, and he puts it away to end the inning. Great defense there by Forrest Wall to strand a runner for Michael Soroka in the 3rd. We will go to the bottom of the 3rd. Stripers trail Memphis 1-0 here on mycountry993.com. Wouldn't you know it, a great catch by Forrest Wall ends the top half of the 3rd, and he'll lead off the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Stripers in search of their first hit of the day, trailing 1-0 to the Memphis Redbirds, and Gordon Graceffo, the number 4 ranked Cardinals prospect, struck his way out of trouble an inning ago. Loaded the bases, didn't give up a run. Wall offers up the first pitch, pops it up down the left field line. Errol Robinson coming down from third base, and out of the track he'll reach up to make the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out for Wall. And that'll bring up Vaughn Grissom. Sitting off to a fast start. It is our trivia question inning. Play along on the Bally Live app for a chance to win Bally Bucks. As Vaughn Grissom steps in, we'll get to that trivia question here in just a moment. Graceffo struck out. Vaughn Grissom is first time up today. First pitch is fouled back to the screen, strike 1. Here's the question: who is the last Gwinnett player to hit a pinch hit home run here at Coolray Field? Last Gwinnett player to go yard as a pinch hitter here at Coolray Field. Answer to that question coming up in the bottom of the 4th. You can answer right now on the Bally Live app. Outside to Grissom, 1 ball, 1 strike. Grissom saw that 39 plate appearance streak to start his AAA career without a strikeout come to an end as he fanned in a 3-2 pitch after a really good battle with Graceffo. He steps back, swings the leg, delivers, and it's popped up. First base foul ground. Lucan Baker, does he have space over by the tarp? He does not. It's into the first row behind the dugout. And a 1-2 count for Grissom. A shrug of the shoulders for Graceffo, and now the 1-2 pitch. Just missed. Looked like Ivan Herrera tried to frame that ball up. Count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is one of the last stretches of games here at home that pitch framing will even be necessary, with the ABS system coming online later this month. Swinging a tapper right out in front of the plate, travels all of 3 feet, thrown on to first by the catcher Herrera, and the out of Grissom goes 2-3. Hit that straight down into the dirt in front of the plate. Didn't even roll enough to meet the grass. So 2 quick outs for Graceffo here. The third, here's Braden Shoemake. 0 for 1 with a pop-up to third back in the first. Graceffo's pitch. Outside, ball 1. Gordon Graceffo in just his 3rd season of pro baseball, again drafted in 2021. On the fast track through this Cardinals system. 1-0 pitch, popped up, third base side out of play. It's 1-1. Started off in 2021 with Class A Palm Beach, and 11 games, 1 start there. And a 1.73 ERA, then 8 starts for High A Peoria last year. His ERA was 0.99. He overmatched the rest of the Midwest League. Shot down the left field line, but foul from Shoemake again, 1-2. Double-A Springfield last year, really the first spot where I guess he kind of caught up to the competition. His ERA was 3.94, still very good, but not the subatomic stuff we saw in Peoria. And now time called for, and it looks like they're going to get Graceffo for an auto ball. That's his 3rd today. He's struggling with the pitch clock. Not struggling with much else, though. So 2-2 on Shoemake. Here it is. And a 58-footer bounces up and over the catcher's gear of Ivan Herrera. It's a full count. If Shoemake gets aboard, Yolmer Sanchez waits next. There are 2 gone here at the bottom of the 3rd. Stripers trailing 1-0. That run came in the top of the 1st for Memphis. Infield shifted to the right for Shoemake. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Slowed that one way down. Curveball sits down Shoemake in a 1-2-3 third. Well, it's still a goose egg on the board for the Stripers. Here on Education Day, we go to the top of the 4th. Gwinnett trailing Memphis 1-0. And it is Michael Soroka to face the middle of the order. Ivan Herrera, Moises Gomez, Lucan Baker. Power from all 3 of those gentlemen. Herrera's got the lone RBI, coming on a tapper back to the mound. He'll wave over the top for strike 1. Yeah, 3 powerful batters in a row, but 3 guys that you can rack up some strikeouts against. Here's the 0-1. Riding inside for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch count right at 60 for Soroka. Here's a bouncer right back to him casually on a Tuesday morning. A toss over to first to Joshua Fuentes to sit down Herrera. Herrera's been retired on ground balls to the mound twice today. That one much easier than the first, though. First one, Soroka had to make an athletic play coming off the hill into the grass around third base. This one was bounced right chest high to him. 1 down for Moises Gomez. And Gomez out in front, swing and a miss, strike 1. Gomez with the sliding glove poking out of the back pocket. They come inside again and in on the fists for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the Stripers had success against this lineup of Memphis last year with some different names in there. They threw inside a lot. Strike called, and that's the approach right now for Soroka, 1-2. You don't want these guys to get extended out over the plate. So you're going to try to bust them inside and maybe help open the outer portion. Here's the 1-2. It's a line drive towards the gap in left center, down for a hit. Coming on is Sierra. He'll scoop it off the turf. It's a single for Gomez. The 3rd Memphis hit of the day comes with 1 out here in the 4th inning. I remember some good battles last year against Juan Yepes, one of the bright young stars in this organization. They were able to get him out a lot going down and in, but if you left a pitch up, he was going to hammer it. Here's Lucan Baker. First pitch right down the middle to him, strike 1. Bullpen action starting for the Stripers, so Soroka closing in on that pitch count. Again, it was 61 the first time out. They don't want to open it up too far. It might be 75 today. Here's the 0-1. rolled to third foul. On by manager Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson in his 4th year, leading this Memphis ball club. He replaced a Redbirds legend in Stubby Clapp. He won a couple of PCL championships. Now he's in the big leagues. No balls, 2 strikes to count to Baker. 1 out, runner at first. Soroka sends it home. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Climb the ladder. Up and in to get Baker. Again, any given pitch might be one that Baker can jump all over, but he's got some holes in that swing. And Soroka's got his 5th strikeout. Here's Oscar Mercado. How about this? Wearing a different colored helmet than the rest of his club. He's got a navy helmet. I guess there's no rules on helmet uniformity in AAA ball as Mercado takes down and away for ball 1. Normally you only see that if it's a rehabbing player, so you would expect Paul DeYoung to be wearing a Cardinals helmet. Everybody else should match though, right? Maybe they just bought that at a sporting goods store on the way. Here's the 1-0. It's jammed and fouled back. Looks like a generic helmet. I don't even know if there's a logo on the front of that thing. One ball, 1 strike, the count to Mercado, choked up on the bat. And now time called for him. One thing's for certain, though, they do buy the high striped socks in bulk, because a lot of the players on this roster will wear them in the same way that they wear them in the big leagues. Shoemake close behind second base. In the hole at short is Grissom. 1-1. Hammered out to right center. But a good jump for Sierra. And he'll give way now to the right fielder, Dean, who makes the catch. And that ends the inning. Another scoreless frame put on the board for Michael Soroka. We go to the bottom of the 4th. High time to give him some support. Stripers trailing Memphis 1-0 here on MyCountry993.com. Welcome back to Coolray Field. We go to the home half of the 4th. Stripers still down by just a run as Memphis leads it 1-0. Yolmer Sanchez, Magneri, Sierra, and Joshua Fuentes, 4, 5, and 6. Mason Gordon, Graceffo. Big-time prospect for the Cardinals, and he's got 5 strikeouts today. No hits allowed. His first pitch to Sanchez is fouled back to the screen for strike 1. He got into trouble in the 2nd. Hit Sanchez to lead off the inning and then walked Sierra and Park to load the bases, but struck his way out of it. Hudson and Dean. 0-1. Foul back to the screen again, 0-2. Graceffo's 0-2 pitch. Bounced in front of the plate, and the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Let's get that first hit this inning. That would be good to get things started. A step back and now forward from Graceffo, and it's fouled away to the left side off the luxury level, back down into the seating bowl, where a gentleman wearing a Hoy Park personalized Stripers jersey almost got to it. Had to get that done here at Bobby's Tackle Team store, I would imagine. I think they're selling too many Hoy Park Stripers jerseys out in the wild. Here's the 1-2, fouled back to the screen. It's a good plug for Bobby's Tackle. Go see Malik Perkins down there. He'll set you up. Tell him Dave Lizotte sent you, and he'll probably charge you more. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Fouled away again to the left side. Fourth pitch in the sequence fouled off by Sanchez. Now looking to get a hold of one. One ball, 2 strikes the count. The wind and the 1-2. High and wide, it's a 2-2 count. Extra base hits have been tough to come by for the Stripers. On that last road trip, the 5-game series at Norfolk, they had just 4 combined. 3 doubles and 1 homer. 2-2 is in on the fists and fouled off again. Homer Sanchez making some fans right now, sending them souvenir after souvenir. Two balls, 2 strikes to the leadoff batter of the 4th. And Graceffo's 2-2 pitch, fouled back. That's headed our way. 10-pitch at bat going for Sanchez. At the very least, running that pitch count up. The next one will be number 74, Graceffo. It is in flight. And this is golfed out to center field. Going back is Mercado. Into a trot now. He'll reach out to make the catch. It's the hardest hit ball for the Stripers so far today, but it ends up in the glove of Oscar Mercado. 1 gone in the 4th. It is time for our Bally Live trivia answer. And as we see Magneri Sierra come to the plate, the question once again was, who was the last Gwinnett player to hit a pinch hit home run at Coolray Field? The answer, Philip Irvin. It was against Memphis, and it came on September 3rd of 2021. So if you guessed correctly, as Sierra skies one towards the line and left. On the run is Chase Pinder. He'll chase it down for the out, 2 away. Bally Bucks headed your way. Again, watch, play, and win all season long on the Bally Live app. 2 gone here in the 4th. And Joshua Fuentes coming up. Struck out in the 2nd. With 2 on and nobody out. That was the start of the downfall of that 2nd inning. And the first one bounces off the, hit the catcher's mask of Ivan Herrera, then ramped right up into the crowd. Little pinball action there. Dirt, mask, and seats. 1-0 the count on Fuentes. Graceffo twists and deals, swing and a miss. On the back foot pitch, 1 ball, 1 strike. There is action in the bullpen, a left-hander up for the Redbirds, so we might be seeing the end of the line for Graceffo here soon. 1-1 to Fuentes. Strike across the letters. It's 1-2. Jack Johnson coming up in the 5th and 6th. We'll see if the Stripers can get the runs going for him, but right now I'm shut out today. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here it is to Fuentes, and that's high. Up around the helmet bill, 2-2. Two outs, bases empty, bottom 4. Stripers down 1-0 to Memphis. 2-2 on Joshua Fuentes, batting for the 2nd time. A lot of movement in that bat on the shoulder. 2-2. Ricochets away to the left of the catcher Herrera. 3-2. Coy Park due up next. Natui Asasopo has been mighty lonely out in that third base coach's box today. Get him some base runners to work with. 3-2 the count. Payoff to Fuentes. It's fouled down the right field line. Another baseball bound for the roof, and the count holds at 3-2. Might be the last man Graceffo faces one way or the other today, with that action about ready to go in the pen. Is 3-2. Strike 3 call. Fuentes knew it right away, and that's how this inning comes to an end. And maybe the day for Graceffo as well. 6 strikeouts, no hits. It is Redbirds take a 1-0 lead into the 5th. Jack Johnson on the other side for the play-by-play. This is Gwinnett Stripers baseball on mycountry993.com.
Welcome back to Coolray Field. Jack Johnson joining you for the 5th and 6th innings. New pitcher on the mound for the Stripers is Grant Holmes. He'll face off against Chase Pinder, and here's Holmes' first pitch. Drops in for a strike. It'll be Pinder, Errol Robinson, and Kramer Robertson, the leadoff spot. 1-2-3 in the top of the 5th. 0-1 from Holmes, and a quick strike 2. At the breaking ball from Holmes. So he's ahead 0-2. Chase Pinder 0 for 1 today. Struck out looking his first time up to end the top of the second. Holmes set up near his right ear. Delivers. Strike 3. Hook, line, and sinker. 1, 2, 3. As Grant Holmes introduces himself to Chase Pinder in this bowl game with a quick strikeout. And a good start for Holmes, coming off a little bit of a rough outing his last time out against Norfolk. Went 1 inning, allowed 3 hits, 2 earned runs, and a 3-0 loss for the Stripers back on April 6. Errol Robinson watches ball 1 on the outside corner. Those 2 runs surrendered by Holmes were 2 of the 3 scored by Norfolk that day. 1-0 pitch, strike 1, but already Holmes looks a lot more crisp. Just over an hour into this contest, it's Memphis 1, Gwinnett 0. Memphis possesses all 3 hits in this contest. 1-1 pitch. Missed on the outside, appealed down to first base umpire Ben Sontag. He did not go. Robinson reached on a walk, but then was picked off by Mike Soroka. 2-1. Holmes fires, and a swing and a miss. Good off speed there by Holmes. He's looked really competitive so far. Pinder struck out on 3 pitches. And now Holmes even in the count with Errol Robinson, the number 9 batter in this Memphis lineup. Comes set, pitching on the third base side of the rubber. 2-2 delivery, skips in. Hudson's going to knock it down. On deck is Kramer Robinson. Errol Robinson in the box, the third baseman today. Stands very close to the plate, his right foot almost on the chalk. 3-2 pitch. Bounce to the left side, a slow roller, charging at Sanchez with a bare hand grab. The throw to first is in time. What a play! Yolmer Sanchez with a vintage Yolmer Sanchez play. That's the kind of stuff that earned him AL Gold Glove Award, but that's not his usual office. He won that Gold Glove playing at second base. So showing a queen on the chessboard, you can move them all around the infield. Kramer Robertson watches strike 1 on a fastball gunned into the zone by Grant Holmes. So really fantastic play by Sanchez. It puts 2 outs on the board, and Holmes in control so far. 0-1 and a swing and a miss. This may possibly be Grant Holmes' best outing thus far if he can get out of this inning 1-2-3. Mason Wynn on deck. The battle at the plate is righty on righty. Kramer Robertson and Grant Holmes. Holmes comes set, kicks and delivers, and it's fouled out of play. Off to the right side, it kicks right off the awning and back into foul territory at the feet of the Redbirds' first base coach. Holmes ahead 0-2. Got Pinder on a strikeout. Robertson grounded out. And now Holmes the 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Memphis goes down in order. Holmes gets bookend strikeouts in the top of the 5th. Bottom of the order coming up for the Stripers in the bottom of the 5th. Boyd Park, Joe Hudson, Justin Dean. As Park climbs into the left side, it'll be a new pitcher on the mound for the Redbirds, Andrew Suarez, who kicks and delivers and drops in for a strike on his first offering. So that ends the day for Gordon Graceffo. He goes 4 innings of no hit, no run ball. 2 walks and 6 strikeouts. 0-1 waved and missed by Park, and he's quickly behind in this count. So Park will have to play defense. He was the last Striper to reach base, as 8 in a row have been retired by Redbird pitching. 0-1. Strike 3 call on the outside corner. Park is confused because the scoreboard in right center field had not updated. Charlie Ramos, the home plate umpire, emphatically punched him out. That's 2 straight Striper batters who have struck out looking. Cortez to close out the 4th, and Park to open up the 5th. Here's Joe Hudson. He swings at the first pitch, lifts a high fly ball, drifting out of play, going over almost on the tarp to make the catch. Backpedaling is Baker for out number 2. Stripers have still not recorded a hit. Justin Dean trying to do something about that. They've been retired in order twice so far today as Dean takes a strike on the inside. Second pitcher in for Memphis, Andrew Suarez kicks and delivers. Misses outside. It's 1-1. Tall left-handed pitcher is Suarez out of Miami, Florida. Signed with the Redbirds as a free agent entering the season. His 1-1 misses for ball 2. Stands at 6 feet tall, 30 years of age. Has MLB experience with the St. Louis Cardinals. 2-1 outside. Uncompetitive 2-1 from Suarez. Lefty on righty matchup. Forrest Wall waiting on deck. Suarez kicks, delivers, and Dean takes a mighty cut but comes up empty. Full count. Payoff pitch upcoming. Suarez gets the ball back, climbs in, and he's ready. Here's his 3-2. Blows it by Dean for strike 3. So just like the Redbirds, the Stripers would bookend strikeouts in the home half of the 5th, and it remains 1-0 as we go to the top of the 6th. You're listening to Stripers Baseball on MyCountry993.com. Back at Coolray Field, top of the 6th. Mason Wynn, Paul DeYoung, Von Herrera for the Memphis Redbirds. And a new pitcher on the mound again for the Stripers, the AAA debut of Rotary Munoz. Very tall right-hander, delivers a strike 1 taken by Mason Wynn. Second baseman today for the Redbirds. Quickly in action is Munoz. He delivers a pitch in the inside part of the zone, lifted out to left center field. Sierra calls off the left fielder wall and puts away Mason Wynn for out number 1. As I mentioned, Munoz, a very imposing figure on the mound, 22 years of age from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Standing at 6'2". He looks every bit of that 6'2" on the mound. Conventional windup, but then really reaches that arm away from him, creates good separation as he misses on the first offering to Paul DeYoung, low and away. And here's his 1-0. DeYoung swings and misses. This counts even. DeYoung so far today in a rehab assignment, struck out swinging his first time up and then flew out to Forrest Wall. Wall made a sliding catch in the 3rd. DeYoung cuts and misses for strike 2. Munoz, like a lot of young pitchers, has adapted really well to the pitch clock. And I say like a lot of young pitchers, and that may be excluding the starter for the Redbirds, Gordon Graceppo, who incurred 3 automatic balls. 1-2 pitch. This is tap foul. Sharply over there by Matt Tuiasosopo, sitting on a bucket at the top steps of the Gwinnett dugout. He got out of the way. Everybody all right down the third base side. 1-2. Fresh baseball for Munoz. He's in action to DeYoung, and DeYoung hits it right back to the screen, foul. Rotary Munoz, the second different pitcher to make his AAA debut with the Stripers this season. Migo Robles, the other one. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. First AAA strikeout for Rotary Munoz. He guns it by Paul DeYoung. And that's a good way to get your first strikeout. Does it against a former big leaguer. And Munoz is doing just fine already in his AAA debut. Now it is Ivan Herrera, and Munoz just misses. That pitch drifted off the inside corner. So it's 1-0 to Herrera. 0-2 so far today. 1-0. Herrera, watch the strike 1. That pitch had a little bit extra juice behind it. Herrera batting with 2 outs. His 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Herrera is grounded back to the pitcher both times. Now behind 1-2. That is tap foul. Almost looks like it caught a piece of the Redbirds catcher. Munoz is the Braves' number 21 prospect ranked by MLB.com. Opened the year with Mississippi, made a start with the Braves on opening night. 3 runs in an opening night loss. His 1-2 is lifted high in the air. Taking the mask off is Hudson, now doing the pop-up dance behind home plate. To his left, makes the catch. Nice put away by Paul DeYoung. Redbirds down in order once again. And the Stripers still hunting for their first hit. Are going to come up in the bottom of the 6th. Still down 1-0. You're listening to Stripers Baseball on MyCountry993.com. Top of the order for the Gwinnett Stripers in the bottom of the 6th at Coolray Field on Education Day. Just over an hour and 30 minutes into this contest as we've reached the bottom of the 6th. And now the open stance of Forrest Wall from the left side of the batter's box. As Ball watches ball 1 all the way back in the mid of Ivan Herrera. It's Andrew Suarez once again. Spent a lot of time in the Giants system before coming over to Memphis this year. 1-0 misses. And Forrest Wall is quickly ahead. Now time is going to be called by Charlie Ramos, the home plate umpire. He's actually going to issue time granted as Forrest Wall asked for it. Now Wall's ready, waggles that bat up near his left ear, and then watches ball 3 on the outside. So Forrest Wall has been moved all around the outfield, one of the fastest players on the team. Trying to climb aboard the 3-0, he did not offer. It may have been called a strike at home plate. They appealed down to the third base umpire, Jacob Metz. Metz issued he didn't swing, but now they're trying to reset the count. And we're all out of sorts here. It's a strike to Forrest Wall, and now it's 3-2. 6th pitch of the at-bat to Wall. Just off the outside corner, and a leadoff batter is aboard. Breaks a streak of 11 straight Stripers retired. As Wall gets aboard, he's the first of the top 3 batters in the order, Wall, Grissom, and Shoemake, to reach in this game, and it comes in the bottom of the 6th. That just kind of underlines the offensive struggles that have fallen with Gwinnett recently. Vaughn Grissom taps this foul to the left side. Grissom got his first strikeout in 34 at-bats, his first time at the plate. And then bounced one straight into the dirt in front of home plate and was thrown out by Herrera his second time up. He shoots the 0-1 foul off to the right. Grissom's been a little bit early and on top of it, now he was late and under it. 0 for 2 today, but still hitting at a very fine .371. Has a home run and 4 runs batted in. A tying run on at first in Forrest Wall. Grissom behind 0-2. The pitch just misses off the inside. Part of the reason that Grissom has not struck out very much in his young AAA career is because he has a great awareness of the strike zone. He's not gone outside the strike zone and helped pitchers out very often. The 1-2. Again, another skillful take from Grissom. While the runner at first, he walked in a full count to get there. Stripers have had 4 base runners. They've all either reached on a walk or Yelmer Sanchez was hit by a pitch. 2-2 to Grissom, and this time he's punched out. Pitch from Suarez that just clipped the inside part of the zone. And Grissom, after not striking out in any of the 8 games before today, has now struck out twice. That's going to bring up Braden Shoemake. Stripers trying to inject some life into a struggling offense right now. First pitch, Shoemake lifts this foul. Off to the left. You can hear the crowd volume around the yard. It's a little bit higher pitch than normal. It's because today is Education Day. 11:05 first pitch. The kids getting a day off of school or taking part of their spring break to come out to the yard. It's been a festive and energetic atmosphere so far at Coolray Field. Shoemake behind 0-1. Fresh baseball for Suarez. Lefty on lefty matchup, and this is roped down the line and a base hit. This is going to send Wall from first to third, and now it gets by the right fielder Gomez. good piece of hitting by Braden Shoemake. And just a bad effort in right field from Moises Gomez as Yelmer Sanchez waves and misses the first offering from Suarez. So Shoemake with another RBI. Now Sanchez trying to drive him in as the ball got past Gomez and pushed Shoemake in the scoring position at second base. It's 1-1 to Yelmer Sanchez. Was hit by a pitch and then flew out to center field, but really struck that baseball. 1-1. He had to twist away from it as the pitch dove inside. Almost hit Sanchez again. Doesn't stand excessively close to the plate, but certainly gets right on top of it. 2-1 pitch. He's in front of it. Lifts this down the line into left field, but it's hook and foul. It would have been a really long run for Chase Pinder, the left fielder. He was shaded almost in left center, trying to guard anything in the gap. Stripers have evened the score in the bottom of the sixth after putting up 5 zeros the first 5 innings. And finally record a hit as well. This is grounded to the left side. It's going to push Shoemake to third, but the throw goes there, and Shoemake is out. It's going to be a 6-5 put out. Paul DeYoung to Robinson. Shoemake broke for third, thinking for sure that DeYoung was going to take what he assumed was going to be the safe out at first base. But a really alert veteran play by Paul DeYoung gets the lead runner. So Shoemake is off the base path, and that's going to bring up McNary Sierra. He swings and bounces the first pitch over to DeYoung at short. Tough play for DeYoung, and Sierra beats it out. DeYoung was trying to take a route to the ball that would allow him his best angle at a throw, but he underestimated Sierra's speed up the line. He busted out of the box and was able to get a step in front of the throw. That's going to bring up Fuentes. Infield single for Sierra in the second of the game for the Stripers. That pushes Sanchez to second base, and Fuentes jumps on the first pitch, but catches only a piece and taps it foul back to the pads. Fuentes 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts. This is where the Stripers really struggled on Sunday. Runners in scoring position, that's where Sanchez is right now, the lead runner. 0-1 to Fuentes, skips in. And Sierra on at first. They left 11 on against Norfolk in a 4-3 loss. 1-1 pitch, Fuentes is in front of it, curls it foul on the ground. Lefty on righty matchup. Fuentes trying to get going in this game. Really trying to get his season going in the right direction. He's had good moments, but a 179 average and only 1 RBI. He swings and misses to end the inning. Pitch way outside. Fuentes is gone. The Stripers leave 2, but even the game on 2 hits. In the bottom of the 6th, Dave Lazat coming up on the other side of the break. It's a 1-1 game from Coolray Field. You're listening to Stripers Baseball on mycountry993.com.
As much a part of Gwinnett as Coolray Field. mycountry993.com and the MyCountry mobile app. Your streaming home of the Stripers.
Dave Lazat back with you at Coolray Field in Lawrenceville. We go to the top of the 7th and a whole new ball game, tied at 1 after the RBI double by Braden Shoemake. And now a new pitcher on the mound for the Stripers, trying to keep it tied at 1. It is Richard Lovelady. The left-handers from the pen will be facing a right-handed trio, and Moises Gomez, Lucan Baker, and Oscar Mercado. And here is Gomez, 1 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a single. First pitch on the way from Lovelady is high for ball 1. 27-year-old Richard Lovelady from Hinesville, Georgia, down by Savannah, about 5 hours away from Coolray Field. So back in his home state, but not really his home area. Swing and a miss by Gomez, 1-1. And off to a solid start with the Stripers. This is his 4th appearance out of the pen. 2.08 his ERA over the first 3 ball games. Just 1 run on 1 hit over 4 1/3 innings. And Gomez pops one up to the right side. A count of 1 ball, 2 strikes. No walks, 4 strikeouts for Lovelady. He's the 4th pitcher of the day for the Stripers. Looks like they'll go 1 inning apiece for the relievers after the 4-inning start from Michael Soroka. Here's the 1-2. Got in on the bat handle. It's fouled back to the screen. The count's still a ball and 2 strikes on Gomez. Soroka's final line today in start number 2 on his comeback path, hopefully to the big leagues. 4 innings, 3 hits total, 1 run, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. And this is ripped into left field, a base hit for Gomez to lead off the inning. Jumped all over that 1-2 pitch from Lovelady and roped it out of the reach of Vaughn Grissom. So a leadoff single greets Lovelady here in the 7th. And here is Lucan Baker. 69 pitches for Soroka today, 41 were strikes. I'd imagine his pitch count going in was probably 75, but they didn't want to give him a fresh inning to work with. This ball golfed out to left field, but the ballpark will hold it. Stopping in his tracks, drifting in his wall, lining it up. He'll make the catch, 1 away. And back to first goes Moises Gomez. And always the key for Soroka is the health factor. He's gone through 2 starts now with the Stripers. 3 in the 3rd innings, now 4 innings. Results have been good, but he's been feeling good. Dealt with some hamstring problems in spring training that limited him to just 1 start. Braves are not necessarily counting on the return of a 100% Soroka, but certainly hoping for it. As are we here in Gwinnett. 0-1 the count on Oscar Mercado. Mercado 0 for 2 with a ground out and fly out. Lovelady on the way home, high and wide for a count of 1-1. So Grant Holmes with a 1-2-3 frame, and then Roderi Munoz as well in his AAA debut. 3 up, 3 down with a strikeout. Might be a tune-up for him to get into the starting rotation, as he would be lined up to jump into the rotation for the TBD spot in the series finale on Sunday. And right now, Lovelady gets a chat from Joe Hudson, brings in Yolmer Sanchez and the shortstop Vaughn Grissom as well. Moises Gomez pulled a leadoff single into left field. He's aboard at first with 1 away. Mercado the batter with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Dangling the arm is Lovelady. Baseball set in the mitt. The pitch, swing and a miss. Tied him up inside. The count 1-2. Lovelady came over from the Royals. Braves made a cash considerations deal on March 30th. Just in time to start the AAA season. This ball popped up right side and out of play. And as a result, Lovelady still carrying his Royals equipment with him. He's got that royal blue glove on his hand. It doesn't really match the navy of the Braves and the Stripers. 1-2 pitch, pulled foul. And the count 1-2 on Mercado. He's got his equipment bag, still has the Royals logo on it when he's traveling. I'm sure he'll get hooked up with the Braves gear here before too long. He straightens up, takes a look over towards first base. Here comes the 1-2. Check swing, did he go? Upon appeal, no. Says the first base umpire, that is Ben Sontag. Lovelady, a guy who hides the baseball extremely well to a right-handed batter. That arm whips around. I imagine that ball's got to get up on you in a hurry as a righty. 2-2 is hit on the ground and through the left side, a base hit. It splits Sanchez and Grissom, and the Redbirds have something going here in the 7th. 2 on with 1 out. Chase Pinder next. Redbirds scored a run in the 1st inning off Soroka. Nothing after that. Stripers even the score with a run in the bottom of the 6th. And so here is Pinder. He struck out looking twice, but both times were against Soroka. First pitch is lined to shallow center, and it is right at Sierra. He'll make the catch. No advancement of the runners as his throw comes in on a line to the shortstop Grissom. 2 away. And now it's the 9-hitter, Errol Robinson. Lovelady, 46 career games in the show, all with Kansas City. 2019 through 2021, was not in the majors at all last year because he was recovering from a left UCL sprain. Didn't debut until September 18th, and that was in the minors on rehab. So now healthy and trying to get back to the big leagues here with the Braves organization. Looks down to second base at Gomez with a big lead there. First pitch to Robinson, slides outside, ball one. One ball, no strikes to the count to Robinson. He drew a walk but was picked off in the third, grounded out to third. In the fifth inning, 1-0. Wraps in for a strike, the count 1-1. For Lovelady, he's got a four-seam and two-seam fastball, slider and changeup. Exact same arsenal as Michael Soroka, just from the left side. Here's the 1-1. And that's fouled off to the right, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Doesn't throw as hard as Soroka does. Four-seamer about 89 the last time out. Two-seamer 88, 89. Slider in the low 80s. Used that slider a lot, 48% of the time in that last appearance. 1-2 pitch, fastball high, the count 2-2. Runners at first and second, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th, game tied at 1. First of 6 against Memphis here at Coolray Field. Lovelady deals, another one just high. Just trying to ring him up at the top of the zone there, but too tall for Robinson. 3-2. Kramer Robertson waiting on deck. Don't want to face him with the bases full. Lovelady's 3-2, and that will miss for ball 4. And the bases are loaded up for Kramer Robertson. Really good contact hitter, a guy with excellent foot speed. Now the good news, if you're Lovelady, you've got force outs everywhere, so it's not like if it's a ball deep in the hole at short, you got to go to first to get the out. But still not the optimal situation here with the bases full. Let's see if he can get out of it against Robertson. Robertson taps the plate, adjusts the bill of the helmet, gets into his crouch from the right side. Runners all take their leads. First pitch sinks inside, ball 1. No place to put him. And Lovelady does not want to get too far behind him here. They set up inside again. The 1-0 is popped up down the right field line, angling towards the seats and up onto the concourse. Looks like our crowd's thinned out a little bit. It's about that time of day when the buses start to head back to school. Kids don't usually get to stay for the full game. 1-2. Almost to the backstop screen. Run-saving reach there by the catcher, Hudson. Across his body, keeping it from the backstop. So 2-1 now, the count on Robertson. 1-1 game at the top of the 7th. Lovelady trying to hold it right there. Working third base side. Here's the 2-1. And he missed again. 3-1. 2 singles and a walk have loaded the bases. And Lovelady and the Stripers on the razor's edge right now. 3-1 is popped back and the count full. So a big pitch upcoming. Game hanging in the balance right now. Runners at every base, 2 outs. 3-2 pitch. Just inside, ball 4. That's a walk with the bases loaded, and the Redbirds go back ahead 2-1 on that. It didn't miss by much, but it did miss. Second walk in a row for Lovelady. And Robertson picks up his 6th RBI of the season without having to put it in play. So that forces in Gomez, who had the leadoff single, and the Stripers back down by a run, trailing 2-1. Got to leave it right there. And here's pitching coach Craig Bjornson out to the mound to try and calm down Richard Lovelady. Again, the runs have been tough to come by for the Stripers. really going back to their last win, which you have to go all the way back to last Tuesday, the opening game of that series in Norfolk when they won 6-1. They had a game that was rained out, but otherwise 4 straight losses to close out the trip. And not a lot of runs being put up on the scoreboard. So all these pitchers have been either pitching in tight games or pitching when way behind. Not a lot of margin for error. So here is Mason Wynn. He's 1 out of 3. Uber prospect for the Cardinals steps in. First pitch from Lovelady is high. Snap throw down to first, and the tag not in time. Almost got him. That would have been a big-time play to maybe swing some momentum back in the Stripers' favor. An aggressive play there by the catcher Hudson, firing off that throw before Fuentes was even really on the bag. Nice play by Fuentes to snare that throw and put down a tag. You're now the 1-0, and it's high and away. Got to make Wynn put it in play. Can't walk another. Stripers down by a run, and got 3 more at bats to change it. 2-0. Finally a strike on the inner third, 2-1. Two-one pitch. Wynn fouls it off to the right. And it is 2-2. Last time out for Lovelady, that was on the 8th of April at Norfolk on one of the many windy nights there. He went 2 innings, gave up a run on 1 hit. Struck out 2 to not walk a batter. 2-2, swing the line drive and a base hit into left center field. 1 run is in. They'll send another around. This is Robinson coming in. Throw is cut off behind the mound. It's a 2-run single for Mason Wynn. RBIs 2 and 3 on the year. And the lead is now 4-1 Memphis. And again, right after the Stripers had finally scratched back to tie the ball game. And that's going to be the end of the line for Richard Lovelady. Here comes manager Matt Tuiasosopo. And they'll go back into the bullpen. And we'll take a timeout for the change. Stripers now down by 3. With Memphis still batting in the 7th. It's Stripers Baseball on MyCountry993.com.
MyCountry993.com and the MyCountry mobile app. Your streaming home of Gwinnett Stripers baseball.
It's now right-hander Ty Tice for the Stripers, and he inherits runners at first and second. In a game, Gwinnett now trails 4-1. Richard Lovelady, low to the bases, gave up a bases-loaded walk to Kramer Robertson and a 2-run single to Mason Wynn. Runners at first and second, his responsibility as Tice lifts the leg and fires home. First pitch a called strike on Paul DeYoung. First game of his rehab assignment as far as his time with Memphis. And still looking for his first hit. 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a fly out to left. The 5'9" Tice takes a peek down to second, and the 0-1 is scooped off the dirt by Hudson. Runners stay put at first and second base. Moises Gomez led off the inning with a single. Lucan Baker flied out to left. Then Oscar Mercado with a rolling single through the left side. Chase Pinder lined out to center. Errol Robinson, that's where the trouble really started. He drew the walk. First walk. Kramer Robertson, the second. Check swing, pitch down and away. 2-1. And then Mason Wynn, the big hit of the frame thus far, the 2-run single. And so DeYoung is the 8th man to climb into the box. They've all been from the right side. The whole lineup right-handed. 2-1 the count. Tice gets the sign from Hudson. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. That slider started in on the hands and drifted all the way back down and away. And it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count to DeYoung. Two from Tice. Tried to go inside and missed. It's a full count. Fastball, slider, and curveball. The 3 pitches featured by Tice. Runners will go on this 3-2. They are off. Here it is. Fouled off. Back behind the plate. We'll do it again with a full count. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Memphis. A run on 2 hits, no errors for the Stripers. They won't be no hit. They won't be shut out today. They did not get a single hit off the starting pitcher, Gordon Graceffo, but been able to do a little bit of damage against the bullpen. They'll need to do some more. Tice will hang in the air and wheel off in the direction of second base just to see if he might be able to catch one of those runners leaving early. They don't. They'll be off on another 3-2. And now leaves the hand of Tice. Swing and a miss, strike 3. There's the slider to sit down to Young. Third time he has struck out today. That'll strand 2, but damage done. 3 runs, all to Richard Lovelady. 2-run single by Mason Wynn as part of it. Stripers now down by 3, trailing 4-1 as it's stretch time at Coolray Field here on MyCountry993.com. The Stripers now down by 3. It was tied at 1, headed into the top of the 7th. A 3-run score for the Redbirds. They're up 4-1, and the Stripers back playing the comeback role again as Hoy Park takes down and away from left-hander Andrew Suarez. This is his 3rd inning of relief following the starting pitcher Gordon Graceffo. Stripers got a run against him in the 6th inning, could have had more. And he misses inside to Park. 2 balls, no strikes. Park a walk and a strikeout today, 0 for 1 for the Seoul, South Korean native. 2-0 pitch. And a jam job towards shallow right center. It's down for a base hit. Hoy Park aboard. Didn't get a lot of that baseball, but enough of it. And found some green grass out in center field. So Park a leadoff single. That is Gwinnett's 3rd hit of the ball game. And Joe Hudson coming up next. Hudson 0 for 2 on the day, a strikeout and a foul pop-up. Checks the swing, takes a strike, 0-1. See you later, kids. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's in the dirt. That's always the interesting thing about education days. You start with a raucous crowd of kids, and then usually by about the 6th or 7th inning, you're playing in front of only the diehards that have remained, or the folks that have taken a sick day from work. Here's the 1-1. That's inside, 2-1. Or the folks on the Silver Stripers package. They get all the matinee games as part of that. More info at GoStripers.com. There's a plug for you. 2-1 pitch. Hammered foul into the screen down the left field line. The count is 2-2. We'll see the youngsters back at the ballpark later this month. Opening game of 6 against Buffalo. In 2 weeks will be another education day. And we'll put on a pot of coffee and get up early for you. 2-2. Fouled off to the right by Hudson. Count holds at 2-2. Stripers trying to get their first win under the sun of the season. They're 0-3 in day baseball. They had a weekday game on the road in Norfolk, and then the 2 Sundays they've played so far. They had a tough time during the day last year. They had a long Sunday losing streak going. 2-2, swung on and missed. Strike 3, down goes Hudson. So 1-on-1 out, here's Justin Dean. And the first pitch is fouled off to the right by Dean. Strike 1. It's an 0 for 2 day for Dean. Had a big at-bat back in the second, but the base is full and 2 outs. And he struck out. Waist high set of the 0-1. Way outside, it's 1-1. Takes a team to win and lose ball games, that's for sure, but Stripers offense has got to start to find something. Here's the 1-1. And that's ripped towards right field, curling back on it Gomez, but he'll backpedal and make the catch. And now he dropped it. Well, it's an out, so wisely back to first goes Park. He wasn't sure. He had gone all the way down to second base and then retreated back to first. But after Gomez made the catch, immediately dropped the ball. And so for a split second there, Park wasn't sure if he should go to second or go back to first. Well, Home plate umpire Ben Sontag throwing up the fist in the air for the out. So a hard line out to right by Dean. It's always an adventure with Gomez in right field. You never know if he's going to get there or not. And that's going to be the end of the line for Suarez, as here comes manager Ben Johnson. So we'll have another mid-inning pitching change as Suarez comes out. We'll find out who the new pitcher is in just a moment. Stripers batting in the bottom of the 7th with a runner at first and 2 outs, trailing 4-1 to Memphis. Here on MyCountry993.com. Dave Lazat back with you. We are in the bottom of the 7th, and a new pitcher takes the hill for the Memphis Redbirds. They sent another lefty out there, so Andrew Suarez, left-hander, is out. And now taking over, it is Jojo Romero. And Romero will be facing Forrest Wall. And he's got Hoy Park at first base, with 2 gone in the inning. So the pitch count reached for Suarez. That's why they took him out, not so much because of the situation on the base paths. But here's a left-on-left matchup against Wall, tied up with a swing and a miss on an inside slider, 0-1. Stripers down by 3, 4-1 is the Memphis advantage, biggest lead they've had today. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Slider outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stripers didn't have a hit until the 6th inning. Braden Shoemaker snapping the drought with an RBI double. Stripers unable to bring him in, though. And now again, the Redbirds have responded with a 3-run top of the 7th. Strike call that makes it 1-2 on Wall. Romero, the 1-2. And that's fouled away to the left side. Jojo Romero, 26 years of age, from Camarillo, California. Former 4th-round pick of the Phillies in 2016. Out of Yavapai Community College in Arizona. Here's the 1-2. It's downstairs. Or rather, junior college, Yavapai. Pretty famous junior college as far as professional baseball players are concerned. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at first is Park, led off with a single, but he's been stuck on first. Here's the 2-2 from Romero, and he was walking off the hill. He thought he had strike 3. Not sure he didn't have strike 3 there to Wall. But Charlie Ramos didn't see it, so 3-2 the count. Back on the top of the hill, dangling the left arm, is Romero, shaking off a couple of signs. Now has what he wants from the catcher, Ivan Herrera. 3-2, Park takes off, but it's strike 3. And the inning is over. Stripers empty-handed in the 7th. We go to the 8th. Memphis 4, Stripers 1 here on MyCountry993.com. Education Day, a little bit lighter on fans now as the students continue to file out of Coolray Field. We're at the top of the 8th. Stripers down 4-1 to the Memphis Redbirds, Cardinals AAA club. And Ivan Herrera leading it off against Ty Tice here in this top half of the 8th. Interesting grip on the bat for Herrera. And the first pitch outside, ball 1. Looks like he would have a tough time getting that bat around through the strike zone the way he holds it. And he makes it work for him. Here's the 1-0. And fouled off to the right. Last year I talked at length about Herrera being a young prospect on this AAA roster, and Cardinals looking for the heir apparent to Yadier Molina, who is hanging it up. Thought maybe Herrera might get a shot at it, and he still might as he takes a strike to make it 1-2, but they went to the free agent market this year and picked up a longtime opponent in Wilson Contreras. He's their #1 catcher now in St. Louis. Andrew Nisner backing him up. And Herrera, for the time being, down in AAA again, 1-2. And on the inside corner, strike 3 on a front door slider from Ty Tice. He'll put away Herrera for the first out of the 8th. Tice came on in relief of Richard Lovelady and struck out Paul DeYoung, looking to put down the rest of that threat, but again, 3 runs had scored. So Tice will end up with 2 inherited runners stranded. And now working his full fresh inning now as he fires a strike to Moises Gomez. Gomez got the offense going in the 7th with a leadoff single on a 1-2 pitch from Lovelady. Came around to score the first of the 3 runs. He scored on the bases loaded walk to Kramer Robertson. He's late on the cut here. The count is 0-2. One out, bases empty, top of the 8th. Tice with the 0-2. And it's popped up. First base foul ground. Hudson and Fuentes both survey, but that's on top of the roof. It'll stay up there until facilities engineer Gary Hoopaw goes up to gather some foul balls later. Always a good bucket's worth of baseballs up there. 0-2 the count on Gomez. Heat set together for Tice. And the pitch is popped up. This one's playable, off with the mask Hudson. Over towards the net and out of space. It's in the first row of the Cutwater Club. There's a light breeze blowing out towards right center, so not probably affecting that baseball. Not like the wind tunnel that was Harbor Park in Norfolk. That whole series seemed to be wind aided. Some flare hits that dropped in for the Tide, some homers over the wall were pushed out by the wind. No such luck for Gwinnett for most of that series. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Handcuffed him. And did he go around? No. It's been Sontag at first. So the count 1-2 strikes on Gomez. 2 singles today. They've kept him in the ballpark, but he's had an impact. 2 for 3. Flapping the back arm as he waits. 1-2 from Tice is roped over the head of the third baseman Sanchez. That's down the line. A 3-hit game for Gomez. He takes a wide turn at first and now retreats on a 1-hop strike into second base from Forrest Wall to left fielder. So Gomez 3 hits. He's got as many hits as the Stripers as a 1-9 have today. Here's Luke and Baker. Baker 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a flyout to left. And Tice with a fastball high. The count 1 ball, no strikes. Does not appear to be any more action in the Stripers bullpen at the present. (1-0). Bounced and knocked down by the catcher Hudson. 2 balls, no strikes. Stripers have Vaughn Grissom, Braden Shoemake, Yolmer Sanchez coming up. And this inning flips to the bottom half. Leaned in is Tice, glove tucked up to his jersey lettering. And the 2-0 is squibbed up the middle. That's the shortstop Grissom. Shovels on the bag for 1. Throw to first with the stretch. Took him off the bag. Almost a double play. Rhythm was just a little bit off there as Grissom shoveled that from the glove over to Shoemake. He was on second base. And his throw over to first base tailed a little bit up the line on Fuentes, so he had to disengage from the bag ever so briefly, but that's what allowed Baker to reach. He's typically a guy you're going to double up about 98% of the time on that. But he's on to the fielder's choice. And here's Oscar Mercado checking his swing and taking high for ball 1. So his 6'4" fielder's choice puts Baker at first, and it's still a work in progress for Grissom at short. That's the reason he's here in AAA. He's proven he can handle the bat. Swing and a miss by Mercado makes it 1-1, but while he continues to make strides offensively, focus is on making him a more smooth operator at shortstop. And we've seen him be a little bit hesitant in one of the most difficult, probably the most difficult position to play. Tice the 1-1. Fouled back to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. And obviously the offseason was full of stories about Grissom working a lot of the offseason with infield guru Ron Washington of the Braves, the inventor of the quote-unquote wash drill. And work continues down here for Vaughn. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Mercado. Here it is from Tice. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Fastball in on the hands, gets Mercado to end the inning. A scoreless 8th takes us to the bottom of the 8th. Stripers, couple more chances to draw even. They trail 4-1 against Memphis here on MyCountry993.com. All right, 8th inning, the rally inning for the Stripers. Let's hope they're down 4-1 to the Memphis Redbirds. And Vaughn Grissom will lead it off, still in search of his first hit to extend the hit streak to 9. First pitch fouled back to the screen on a one-handed cut. Jojo Romero came on in the midst of the 7th inning, struck out Forrest Wall looking to strand Hoy Park at first. And now he gets a fresh inning. 0-1 to Grissom, sinks down around the shoe tops. 1 ball, 1 strike. Grissom's day today, 2 strikeouts and a ground ball that didn't even leave the dirt circle in front of the plate. Thrown out 2-3 by the catcher Ivan Herrera. First 2 strikeouts of his season coming today. He'll foul this down the right field line. And on top of the roof for a 1 ball, 2 strike count. 4 hitless innings out of the starter for the Redbirds. Gordon Graceffo, we'll see him again on Sunday. Slated to start the series finale. 1-2 pitch. And that looked like it got a piece of Grissom, but maybe off the bounce. He'll lob it aside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitching for the rest of the series features a lot of very familiar names for the Redbirds, players the Stripers faced last year. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here it is to Grissom, sinking low and outside, full count. We'll see Matthew Liberatore start tomorrow, already 2-0 with a 0 ERA. Dakota Hudson on Thursday. Connor Thomas, Thomas Parsons. They were in the rotation for the bulk of last year for the Redbirds. And then again, Graceffo on Sunday. 3-2 is slapped to the right side out of play into the seats. Stripers have faced a lot of strong starting pitching already this season. They've yet to run into a pitcher that's down on his luck, to say the least. And it's early in the year, so I guess everybody's kind of got that early season confidence going. There's nobody to face yet with a 7.8 ERA that you're excited to go into the game against. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Grissom, trying to reach to lead off this 8th. Braden Shoemake, Yolmer Sanchez after that. Romero with the 3-2. Strike 3 called. It has not been Grissom's day today. Second time he has looked at strike 3. We just have not seen that from him. You could probably chalk some of it up to the early start. Stripers did have yesterday off, and it was not a travel day. We got back in from Norfolk on Sunday night, so everybody had a chance to rest up or play golf or what have you yesterday. Braden Shoemake skies one the opposite way to left. Going back is Pinder, but he will run it down, and that's the second out of the 8th. Shoemake with the only extra base hit for Gwinnett in this game. An RBI double that temporarily tied it at 1 in the 6th. But he's now 1 for 4. And so 2 away in the 8th. Here's Yolmer Sanchez. Romero reaches for the rosin bag and ascends the hill. A hit by pitch and a fielder's choice. It puts Sanchez on twice. He's 0 for 2. First pitch a strike, 0-1. There's bullpen action for Gwinnett. It's a different pitcher on the bump in the 9th inning. Oh-1 is lifted to left. Routine play for Pinder, circling, reaching, and making the catch. 1-2-3 go the Stripers in the 8th. We go on to the 9th here at Coolray Field. It's Memphis 4, Stripers 1 here on MyCountry993.com. Hard-throwing right-hander Yaxel Rios, the new Stripers pitcher, as this game transitions to the top of the 9th. Gwinnett trailing 4-1 to the Memphis Redbirds in the opening game of 6. And you get the sense that Rios, the type of guy they'd like to use in the late innings with a lead, but haven't had too many of those opportunities of late. So they use him in a game they trail right now. First pitch, a strike call to Chase Pinder. And Rios, we've seen light up the radar gun in the upper 90s. Did that on the road trip in Norfolk. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that's down in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count. Just shy of 6,000 fans for Education Day today, but again, they have mainly cleared out. Outside to Pinder, 2-1. And they're going to miss one heck of a Stripers comeback in the bottom of the 9th. Set is Rios in the 2-1. Lifted down the right field line, and this is another that is bound for the roof. 2-2 to Pinder. He is 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts, and a hard line out to center. Facing off against 29-year-old right-hander Yaxel Rios from Caguas, Puerto Rico. Former 12th round pick of the Phillies back in 2011. He's been around for a little while. And he's got a strikeout to start his outing. A swing and a miss by Pinder on the high fastball. One out, that'll bring up Errol Robinson. Stripers pitchers have combined now on 11, make it 12 strikeouts on the day, so that's been one stat trending their direction. As here's a soft liner over to second. Right in the right spot is Braden Shoemake. Just had to come in for that, didn't have to move to his right or left. And they make quick work of Robinson. Here is Kramer Robertson. 2 walks and a single, 1 for 2. And in the 7th when he batted, drew a bases loaded walk that has forced in the right now decisive run of this ball game. Gave the Redbirds a 2-1 lead. They tacked on with a 2-run single by Mason Wynn, who's on deck. First pitch is fouled away to the right. A peek ahead to the bottom of the 9th for Gwinnett. It'll be Magneri Sierra, Joshua Fuentes, Hoy Park. That's the 5, 6, and 7 coming up. There's right-handed action in the Memphis bullpen. Rios, the 0-1, is in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Redbirds trying to get to 5-5 on the year. Stripers trying to avoid going to 2-7. One. Low again. 2 balls, 1 strike. Got solid work out of Michael Soroka today. Just a run on 3 hits over 4 innings, 5 strikeouts in his second start. Two-1 is hit in the air to left. And rounding off is Forrest Wall out in left center. He'll put it away for the out, and that's a 1-2-3 9th for Yaxel Rios. And it sets the stage for the bottom of the 9th. Stripers need 3 to tie it, 4 to win it. And again, they'll have Sierra, Fuentes, and Park coming up. Stripers baseball here on MyCountry993.com. Dave Lazat back with you. We go to the bottom of the 9th here on Education Day at Coolray Field, a game that kicked off at 11:05 a.m. We're now closing in on 2 p.m. And the Stripers trailing Memphis 4-1. Their lone run coming in the 6th inning on a double by Braden Shoemake. That tied the game at 1. And a 3-run top of the 7th has the Redbirds in front. New pitcher for the Redbirds in search of the save is Guillermo Zuniga. 24-year-old Zuniga from Cartagena, Colombia, 6'5", 230, big-bodied righty. 4th appearance of the year. First pitch to Magneri Sierra is strike 1. So Zuniga comes in with a 7.71 ERA in 3 appearances. Missing inside for a 1-1 count. Got a 222 opponent average, no walks, 2 strikeouts. He's allowed 2 runs on 2 hits over 2 to 3rd innings, 1 for 2 in save attempts. And this is a save attempt today. Runs it to the inside quarter for strike called. It's a 1-2 count on Sierra, who has reached on a walk and a single today, 1 for 2 out of the number 5 spot. Time called. And Sierra steps out of the box. Stripers have not won a game this year yet when trailing after 8. They are 0-4. And still looking for their first daytime win. Pitch outside makes it 2-2. So let's get all that crossed off the checklist today. 3 runs will tie it, 4 will win it. It's going to start with Sierra getting aboard, you would imagine. Zuniga's 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Good hard fastball. In on the hands of Sierra, he is gone for the first out. Talked about the high strikeout total for Stripers pitchers today. It's even higher for Memphis. That's their 14th strikeout. Stripers have set down 12 on strikes. Redbirds 2 better. There's Joshua Fuentes. He's got 3 strikeouts today. First pitch. He is hit on the ground, rolled out to short. Down to get it is DeYoung. Throws to first on target to get Fuentes. 2 gone in the 9th. And that'll bring up Hoy Park. A single and a walk for Park, a strikeout in between those 2 ABs. Or plate appearances, rather. He didn't get an AB on the walk, of course. Park opens up the left-handed stance, raises the bat high. And gets that bat out of the way. High and tight from Zuniga for ball 1. The 1-0 is lifted out to left center. A lazy fly ball towards Pinder. He's got it, and that is the ball game. Stripers' offensive struggles continue from the road into this homestand. Just a run on 3 hits today. The lone run coming on the double by Braden Shoemake in the 6th. That tied the game at 1. Memphis responds with a 3-run 7th, and that is more than enough for them to cruise to the win today as they run their record of 5-5 with a 4-1 win over your Gwinnett Stripers. Stripers now 2-7 to open the year and mired in a 5-game losing streak. Vaughn Grissom sees his 8-game hit streak come to an end today. That was the bad news. Braden Shoemake with his team-leading 8th RBI. That was some of the good news. Michael Soroka, 4 innings of 1-run baseball. That's good news for Braves country as well. But it all does not add up to a win today. And so again, it's the Redbirds in the high 5 line. We'll step out with the Salto Systems post-game show coming up next. Again, the final score from Coolray Field on Education Day. Memphis 4, Stripers 1, here on MyCountry99.3.com.